Good morning, or whatever it is, whatever you or wherever you are. So Sunday, yesterday, I was playing around with my family's tree stuff, looking at uh, was it my previous lives? I think it was mine. Yeah. And one of the things I noticed is that there was a lot of these, a lot of interfamily murder. So I was playing around with the idea of, this is probably like one or two other families, probably, extending over to those and sort of graphing the whole big mess. But it seemed to take forever. It took a while for me to do it, which I could probably revisit the efficiency of that quite a bit. But when I finally just gave up and killed it, it appeared to be in the actual Graphiz output library. So I know I've been using this old library because it's kind of a nice syntax, but apparently it doesn't have a very nice internal structure. So I know there's at least one other one out there. Graphiz, Ruby Graphiz. ASM. Transitions. State machines, I know what that is. Jekyll. It's a template engine. Class diagrams. Embedded Graphiz diagrams. Graphiz R. RDF. A hash? That's probably a pretty small one. Images of directed graphs. Mind map. Ruby classes. Graphiz C. Gviz. That's a lot of gems. Main specific graph. Database model. All right, so Graphiz seems to be, well, it's the direct match. Somewhat recent. And it seems they're assuming standard colors. Graphiz.new, add node, attributes, 2 dot. Okay, kind of expected. This is the Graphiz gem. The Ruby Graphiz is also Ruby Graphiz. Add nodes, add edges. So you've got some of this edge syntax as well. with some fancy stuff. Assam. Acts as state machine. Okay, so probably not. That's probably another state machine then. Yeah, state machine. (2016). Oh, so you got, So this is designed for DSL type environments. I'm not sure that's got a good set of documentation. That's seems pretty old. I mean, not these things need to change very often. Generate images directly. When it has images, that seems to indicate it's a C extension, which might be a problem on Windows, but it could be faster. So this actually looks very much like one of the other ones. Okay, that's that one. Had a lot of versions, then it kind of fell off. Graphiz.new.graph. This is also based around well, I guess if I've got this thing and I'm passing in lives, I could probably... Well, no, having methods. No, actually, I don't have methods. I have that method. Maybe that would work. This is FFI. Graph.edge, graph.node. Well, I guess we've got this. Render PNG. Presumably we could still render GV. Or dot. I'd have to see what the syntax for that is. How about Ruby? No matching categories. So there's Ruby Graphiz. Yeah, this one's dead. So there doesn't seem to be visualizing data, but this one's not completely untagged. Repository is gone. Look, commit activity. Long lived 0.02. So it looks like the most popular one is Ruby Graphiz. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's good. It's if I pick by that, lots of people probably pick by that. Well, that seems like a good place to start. So do we end up with, that's Graphiz, Ruby Graphiz. Actually, we do have a, well, the gem file is an interesting thing. Because I had started to put in, well, really it's just this. So if we just take this out, pretty much, put it back later. Ruby Graphiz? Looks like it. Now, I might want to do these in parallel even if I end up replacing it, just so I can easily reference back to my other one. This does need to have, oh, because that one might have been a pure Ruby. This needs to have Ruby. So we've got graph. Let's go ahead and copy this. We've got it for easy reference. Naming is hard. Actually, that would make it easy to switch out at least. So Ruby Graphiz. And that was this one. So this one wants a graph maybe since it doesn't matter, you're just doing that. All right, and then we have add nodes, we have add edges. G.world. Okay, so this is similar. This is actually similar to Graphiz R, where unknown things get turned into nodes. So DSL is a separate thing. Completely implicit. I don't know if I want to go that far. With a block format, we have the implicit things. Add edges. Add nodes. Presumably, you would just put these options after this if you're doing the more explicit format. So that would be G dot add nodes label. Now, I don't know. Well, yeah, we're actually doing explicit string operations on this. So this would be, if we're doing this explicitly, Well, these are nodes have this operation. G.add nodes. Does it handle multiple nodes though? Well, so that's us key. We could actually say that and then deal with the node directly. This is only going to end up making one. Oh, no, we did sort of do this. We counted on only one of them doing attributes. We might mention a name multiple times. We're kind of counting on the, because this is explicitly add nodes. I don't know if it's lazy or not. Okay, well, there is a get node. What does that do if it doesn't exist? We can definitely talk about ourself. This is adding attributes to the edge. So we have add edges. I presume. Well, let me do this. D.add edges from us. It would be something like this. And then this one is just no constraint. Oh, so yeah, so we're actually building up multiple multiple properties. I'm not sure if that works as well with this library. Actually, at this point, we could assume we have this node. So this one, well, I changed us. Oh, we can just do property of node. That could work. So then we can say, but it's going to be individual hashes now. Equals. Now, do you have our doc.info? Is this a, yep, it's a screen size thing. Well, not that it's perfect here, but, oh, and we got a sidebar. Node maybe? Attribute name, attribute value. Each attribute, method missing, that option equals value. Set node attributes. Not sure how to use that. No doc, no doc, no doc. Not sure what root graph is. So it's just a block format for a node. Okay, well, I didn't see any easy way to do a merge on that, which is really what I was interested in. And what did we change here? Style filled. Really, we just changed some of our color selections. If it's highlight, yep. Setting shape. It's just in a shape. I'm not sure what that was about. If there is a parent, we need to make sure that a node exists. And I was actually doing all right, do you do anything? Well, we probably have a different interface to exporting stuff. Graph.data SVG. So this is going to be back at more like our README level. Output PNG file name. How's that work? Because I don't want it to go straight to a file name. I used to, but I don't now. Oh, I could still produce that as a stepping stone, but instance attribute. Not. Where's the SVG format? Yeah, so it's actually got some very similar syntax. Okay, just multiple things. Multiple names. Each node. Output format. file name. Okay, so we can do output format, out file blah, program to use. Dot warning level. File can be, so that would be SVG to string. Output will be returned as a string. Graph lives returns the graph. ASCII, yes. Then if we go to my recent lives, I think the exterior interface to that should be the same. So this should be the one that goes quick-ish. Or this thing could be much, much slower. Oh. I forgot the lib. How are we actually... Do I have a PS? Okay, I don't see a Ruby. Forgot the lib. Yeah. Graphiz. Oh, slightly off syntax. Graph attribute shape invalid. Oh, yep. This actually has to be us. Okay, so that seems to output. We actually had one of these open before. I feel like maybe the size parameters are a little different. Maybe the SVG conversion is a little different. Anyway, that much works. So at a base level, it still does something. So if we bring in, oh yeah, and this output is not going to be valid anymore. So does this output successfully? So it's still crunching internally. We got to the file output phase. So now we have to see if it's actually going to do something here. I should probably be putting something out about just how many lives we ended up with. So it appears to be quite a lot. Um, mm, so we do have multiple libraries. Probably the only one that might be interesting is like an FFI or... oh, I am converting. Oh, I am converting to SVG. So maybe it actually is Graphiz proper. Forgot about that. Ruby open. So what if we did graph lines? So output is going to be that's something I forgot to try before. See if it was because in order to do the SVG, we actually have to call out to Graphiz, which is where maybe we're having the hang up. Oh yeah, and this is a Ruby core. The other thing was showing up as, well, it's Ruby Graphiz. Output and errors from command. Oh, actually, here's the total number of lives reached. Because that used to represent the number of people in the Eve line, which we should really grab before doing this, if we want to do that. But yeah, following the murder chains gets you to 3,400 people. It's a bit. And I'm pretty sure that my Graphiz viewer will melt down on that as well. Yikes. Would be nice if you could get some incremental progress. So that doesn't leave me with any reason to convert this. So pretty much getting the same results. Other than just having it based on a more popular and possibly more well-maintained gem, which I guess having done the work, we could go ahead and do. Wow, even just the straight-up Graphiz text output. Because, I mean, if I wanted to do just the Graphiz text part, I would think, well, technically this call is before we go into this part of it. I would think that if we could go through there, we could just direct output the syntax. But that would only get us a Graphiz file. If dot chokes on it, then it doesn't do us a whole lot of good. I guess I didn't check if that was actually a supported file format, so does it default to something else? That's that. There was something in output about file formats. Okay, dot is a format. Well, so the only thing that's going to be annoying about this is all these other little scripts that just took the Graphiz object and used it directly. So graph2 becomes graph. Graph2 goes away. My recent lives. This goes back to graph, but then we have to, so actually this still needs to get cleaned up because I started to do an incremental output instead of waiting for all the other stuff to happen. This is there, so that's fine. I guess this argues for having a method here, but also lets the script decide what to do, so. So we had yesterday's. This might itself be pretty old. Yeah, you weren't even set up for the HTML output. I need to actually copy more stuff. Reg. And really, I probably do want to be outputting this in most cases now. What else do we got? We've got boots. All right, so we got a file name. HTML is fine. So really it was just this line. Well. Oh, oops. I double HTML'd. And it's focus. Well, okay, because that was between different things. Boots. Some of these are miscellaneous scripts. All my other test scripts. And I really don't use those anymore. Because now it's a maintenance problem. What do we got? Yeah, because these only ever did this. Oh, right, we copied that. Lives export doesn't use Graphiz. Small named family. Oh, and it's focused. I probably just messed all these up. Larger family. Yeah, your focus. And does perchance... No, just loading all the files. Okay. Well, yeah, even not putting the Graphiz for 3,400 people seems unreasonable, and based on my experience with the other viewer I was using, that means Dot is probably going to choke on it too. But I'm actually surprised that just doing the text dump is that bad. $3,400 notwithstanding. So those got to 590 people. Kind of wanted to see all the interrelated families, but apparently there was like just so many interrelated families that we kind of got like the entire day's worth of people. Well, yeah, because if you kept having new families come in and interacted with those, it could just kind of continue on forever. Well, yeah, if we can't output a Graphiz, I probably could get the Graphiz out, but I don't know that there's anything that could convert that once it has to do actual layout. Popen. Seems like it's using Graphiz for something. I don't know why it would use it for a dot file. Maybe they're doing some internal library stuff with it. All right. Oh, I never should commit the outsider stuff. Recent lives. So, I mean, maybe if you found a small enough family, you could do that. You know what? There were a couple of outsiders on Boots. How does this work? So we're gonna have our focus. Yep, minus. Oh, no, that's the length after expanding. Now I don't remember how big it was before. I mean, 18 shouldn't actually be that much larger than the other stuff we got. Oh no, that was the initial family. Okay. So they interacted with a lot of stuff. There actually were some long-standing families in parallel there. So now that one, I'm not sure if that'll be able to output. Um, all right, so we were here. Probably just going to leave this out. Let's see. Date, Graphiz library. And then I could try leaving that running, but it's probably going to be too big to be useful, if it even completes. So that puts us back to the database problem properly, because I don't see any way to deal with that. I mean, we could take all the families we run across, and we could output those families, but you can't draw the connections between them. And right now, I'm doing my constraint based on if we have it in our tree, so I can't even get the names of those other people without changing how I do that. I'd have to have the place where you added it would have to say, well, I mean, we don't care about this one. Or we do. I guess really we care about whether they have parents or children. But that, I'm not sure there's an easy way to ask for that. For the killers, we would have to... Actually, is that a graph thing? Yeah, so the problem is we've got a subset of the lives. We add an edge for the killer, but if they're not in the data set, Andy Ship, thank you for the follow. Glad you like, we actually completed. Now, whether the browser will choke on this is another question. Oh. Why are we transferring data from Google Analytics? What library is doing that? Because pan zoom is the only thing I've got in there. What does the Google Analytics URL look like? I don't know if this is going to go too well. Wait. We didn't draw any lines to these. We just included a bunch of people. I mean, maybe they were ones that interacted somewhere? But I'm starting to wonder if this is actually working the way it's supposed to. Let's see, do we have any murder lines here? Because there was some I remember. Yeah, that seems to have thrown them off into their own little area. There's clearly some local murder lines. So now I'm wondering if my algorithm is right. But I also have questions. Well, actually, you can tell me what the URL is. No, it have to be in the source somewhere. I'll have to reload this to see it. I guess any of the other documents would work just as well. Why were we waiting for Google Analytics if there's no network requests? Well, that seems way more people in is reasonable, so I think my outsiders thing is busted. Or maybe that could have been just a whole lot of murder. Oh, well, it could be transitive. If one person killed multiple families, then that would end up making, or yeah. It could be transitive links, but we're not getting any killer links. Can we... Life.killer, just add them. Life.key. Life.key killed by life.killer. So this is already going to reduce the runtime of this a lot. Probably. 18048. Focus life's killer. It's like it should have expanded it a little bit. 1804. What? That's never running. Why does that expand this so much? Because I took the line out of this file. Okay, so just the direct murders added like another 1,000 people? And some of them did get tracked. Okay, so multiple passes somehow added this many times. And then the transitive got some other miscellaneous people. Yeah, so it's like, I think my killer edge isn't working. I think that's what this is. How does parent work? Add nodes parent to us. Maybe I don't understand how edge things work, but I would no, because it's we're making the red. And constraint is not working. Not working. So the person who killed Andrew Boots messed up my... Yeah, actually that completely messed it up. So it broke the chain somewhere, maybe? Okay, it's just a dark color. And we got all these. How are we getting... How are we getting so many edges? So that seems weird. And this... I must be doing this... Must be doing something on multiple passes. Now, lives is supposed to be a hash, so it should not exist multiple times. Maybe if there was multiple deaths by the same person, which means I'd actually have to keep a separate hash of nodes. Is it not doing this? Is it not intelligently merging these? Nodes, ASCII. I can also test out get nodes, see if that works. So that's killer key. We're definitely going to add something here. Killer equals g dot, is it get node? G dot add nodes killer key. Yep. Nope, still worked. And we still have multiple kill edges. How are we doing this? Well, we do know it's player 39. Uh-oh. Oops. Constraint false. Oh. Oh. Wait, 1 hour. What? How? Is this a different file? That, it's like, how can this be? No. How is this text not in there? It's a different... Oh, wait a minute. I may have... Archive boots. It's the old one. Oh, this is like pre-calculating width and height and stuff. 3902. Oh, no, that's the age, not the player ID. This is actually pre-calculating positions, so it's doing the layout. Well, maybe I didn't want my other library. Would explain why I had trouble finishing even that, because you're doing actual layout. Anyway, and that's not going to have the constraint false, because it's probably worked it into the algorithm already. Front boots. I would need to output ID tags to track this down. Well, no, we've got Was it like Alex Boots? No. Eve Pressa. Oh no, it was killed by. So you're. Yeah, it's putting it out multiple times. Why is it doing that? How could it be doing that? I might need to get this as a list. Wait, how is this covering multiple epochs? How is there an ID reset in the middle of this? Seems unlikely. And yet we have Epoch 1, Epoch 2. With some wildly different... Player 69, Epoch 1. Yeah, something's messed up here. That explains a little bit. Doesn't explain the multiple murders, though. Well, there's two things that could be happening. We need to say... Oh, because that was where I added outsiders. That gets a node if it exists. Oh, but I always add us. Or all of this. And we probably, if we're going to try to do that, we need to do it for parent. And we've not... Because if it exists, we have to set the properties on it. In this case... Or no, in the S case, we have to set the properties on it. Which means we kind of have to do a two-step process. I guess it's really just the label. And then... So that means we should not generate duplicate nodes. Okay, it's still an ugly mess. Oh, wait, I'd switch the boots over to Graphiz output. Which, well, it is still faster. Nope, still a mess. Where the heck is this coming from? And we're getting the edges. Are we seeing the same pair multiple times? We're only making one pass through the lives. And lives is supposed to be a hash. I've seen USKey. Actually, I could just do this. Okay, I didn't see any reports from that. So how do you get multiple kill edges? Am I sure that's where this is coming from? That's still gonna add a bunch of nodes. Oh, wait. Oh, that's during the graph generation. How? How does a hash table well, it puts them in the wrong keys, how it does it. Is it key value? But it's not going to tell us what it saw it as before. So if we see a duplicate, we need to go through lives again. All right. Oh no. Left a key equals left. So if we've seen it, P. Key to life dot key. Life 2 dot key. Key for nil. That means we have nils. No? Oh, because this is actually a sub-method. Oh, no, each on this is specifically values. So I actually have to go, like, lives.lives. Oh boy. Will this rewrap? It will not rewrap. Okay, so 57739 got keyed under 57752 and 57740. What the heck? I messed something up bad. Let's take this out and see if it's specifically this method. Or if I've had something deeper going on here. Okay, specifically that method. At least that isolates the bug a bit. History. Focus. Yeah, that's where I messed up. So if you kill somebody, it like overwrote stuff. I need to do boots. Of course, that was attempting to reduce it to a more tractable problem. But if that was messed up elsewhere... get the family of that killer. Oh, did I do focus? No, that's all lives. Get the ones for there. Now we are going to have constraints because they're included in the data set, so it might be weird. But at least it's not as weird. So we actually knew something about you. We still have the problem. Okay, so internal murder. But all these miscellaneous nodes are not being attached out here. I want to double check formatting if we don't do this. I mean, there's the constraint thing. Maybe at a certain point it says, oh, well, that's too far constrained. I'm not even going to try and draw that. Or it's just impossible. I see some are anonymous ones, but they're not the completely unknown. I thought that yeah. So we get the odd outer family killer here. But the amount that we're seeing there doesn't seem to justify all the other nodes. So it might decide that it's too far away to draw the line. Because we clearly see stuff in family. But like all the other people just get put off to the side. So this is where I would have to have a way to indicate, hey, this node should not be, or this line should not be a constraint. Oh, and they had the odd. Right, so these, that changed the constraint value probably. Okay, if we do constraints, it might mess things up, but what do we mess up? I mean, it should have literally just been a copy-paste. Okay, fine. It's probably going to cause its own problems. Nope, I have to run this. Okay, well, there's at least a few pointers now. There's the Eve Pressa. But what's with all these people? It's just like everybody else on the server. I don't think there were that many outside murders. I don't think. No. Oh. Well, one thing we might need to do. Is get stricter about our iteration. So that is changing the focus. Or should this be? Because I think. Yeah, that's expecting a history. And then so that we're not self-updating. Oh, but we're using focus length to do the transitiveness of it. Well, then it won't change. We'll only do one pass. And we still got a ton of people out here. Complete with some relations. Well, no, it's finding the parents of all the extra people. Because I'm doing lives, not focus. So we're finding every murder that happened anywhere. Well, actually, in that case, we can just do each. $18.05. That's a little bit better. And I actually have to find that one person to... Oh, yeah, because we took the constraint off. Maybe with multiple families, we should do that. Those lines are really crazy, though. All right, so Neo... Well... That'll be fine. If we do the transitive families of everybody who did that. Okay, we added 10. They're probably still going to be up here. And a bunch of abandoned kids. Many of whom were murdered by this person. So these lines are unfortunate. That's the one advantage of just kind of leaving it there. But now that we've got that much sorted out, I don't think we need this. Will this actually run? No, and it's not 3,400 people. Well, and there's all our kills. Oh yeah, order of magnitude smaller. Oh, yep, those two families were joined, so it was actually kind of unnecessary to do them both. Yep, they were all one big happy murder family. And that changed our number. Oh my goodness. So now I've got all my murder constraints off right now. Probably going to be pretty hard to follow anything. One advantage of the other thing is that the murderer was kind of in place, but you didn't know who it was. So we've got the Amber family, the Markey family, which I never saw. The Laser the Third family. The Unnamed family. Did surprisingly well. The Hart family that I never saw. Barbie, Yuri, Coco, Sax. You might actually be, yeah, Child, Lee, there's Lamister, DuPont, Retta, I heard of the Doom family. I never actually was one. Also, I probably need to update. Well, it depends if I've got the information available. Now, I guess I could pass a larger context to the graph thing to fill in these details without including it in the main set. Actually, including full killer information would be nice. Oof. How big is this file? 4 megabytes. What's smaller than the... Huh. Curiously, we got... Maybe it's actually different SVG layouts. Alright, so that is Murderpalooza. Might want to take one of those and... Well, I wanted to fix up the Killer Mars. And that... you'd need the... If you weren't including them in the set... and we still need to do... some cleanup here. And... So probably some of this node reuse paranoia was unnecessary. But that is actually fixed now. Although I'm still a little uncertain about the graph replacement, but that's a pretty easy... Because before I could output relatively simple Graphiz files. That is Boots family... which still has the problem. Rather, I still have the problem. Well, they're included in the set, so actually it was me trying to just get stuff straightened out. So they are included in the set now. See if that was a problem. Right, there's a typo there. Graph had to switch that back. Oh, that was an intermediary thing. I mean, maybe just including the direct killers could be a thing, but they're in the set, so it gets weird. That is currently in my recent, which can get quite large. Which it doesn't tend to hang anymore. Doesn't make it for very large. And I would really kind of like to capture just that as is, which means if we ran this, we would essentially replace those. Uh-oh. Graph.rb. I gotta actually change that back. That doesn't give us a total length number. Line.length. And that'll end up being one murder family, but you can't. You could maybe determine if the full outsider set included that family already. But you'd have to search through all your other lines. Every time you found one. So this is something I want to do all the time. Because I'm just curious about how that family went. And expand to families by murder. If you knew of a family that did adoption, you could maybe try and figure some things out, but not really. So, for a graph to put a killer name, we'd have to have it have another argument that gave us all of the information about players that might not be in our set. Well, it's kind of good to have them different, because otherwise it looks sort of like a child relationship. Well, just having the name would be nice. Actually, it was the name I was particularly interested in. So what if... no, I was just doing life cause. I could update the label. Actually, yes, it's exactly the case where lives include. Oh, no, killer is a name, not a. Uh-oh. Right, we were doing an interpolation. Recent. Actually, I guess we've technically output one of them by now. Yeah, you're Amber. Okay, it's done. Ooh, file not found. Oh, this is probably the big one. And we're done with you. So now, if we go in here, and there's a murderer somewhere. Oh. Wait, you should be in the set. Is it written in a way that doesn't allow overwriting killer? What? Or we come along later. No, we should only process it once. Maybe it's written in a way that doesn't allow overwriting. So we would have to actually say... And I should probably open up Lamister because we can do that one sooner. We're still getting cause. Am I even updating this? Is this even doing something? Or did I like leave this in Graphiz mode? No, HTML. Okay, the labels are definitely doing something. But if we only process a node once... Oh, nope, that doesn't work till I run it. How is it that we are not getting this? Okay, so that is actually never running. They sure look unconstrained to me, but... Did I have this shut off? No, outsiders. Alright, so we've got killed by, we've got... What's our controlling case here? Well, it would have to be this one. But I thought we didn't have constraints on these. Or the point of that was to not include the constraints. Oh. Yeah, the height difference here says we're getting constraints. And it's all, well, those are ones that don't have a hunger, killer, one killer. So lives is not including killer key. Even though we're... it's a history. Which it does in fact ask our lives. Does it include knowledge? I think it did. The given key is present in hash. Apparently it's alias to has key. Which is probably fair enough. Might almost want to change that. I mean, that could be interpreted as module include. More of a class method, but... And you know what? I'm probably overdue for a break. I'll be back in a few minutes. Yeah, we'll be able to see when I have hair now. These close? Okay. Oh, wow. I mean, I guess, yeah. I think, yeah.
Hi, time. If I were a steak, I'd be right in front of me.
It's too unlikely. So we're using our Gurya. It gives us increased strength. Oh, frick you, game! I hate you so much. Oh well.
All right, welcome back. Looks like our search is done. We used it in history and graph. And then, and this is a bunch of other stuff. Okay, so that's a little bit clearer, but it doesn't explain actual behavior. Because the set of lives that we are graphing should include these things because we are drawing lines to them. Oh, how did we miss this one? Must have been... Did that change anything? Unfortunately, there's enough stuff going on here that's very hard to evaluate. Is it really there or really not? Okay, so we're definitely not getting constraints. 1111, killer 222. So what the heck is your problem? I can pretty much say S key. What else could we test? We could test live sub killer key. Live. Oh my gosh, it ran. What? Oh, I know what you did. We have to do it that way because I set this hash table up to automatically create members. Which I might need to do. I need to rethink. That should be necessarily impossible. Because killer key is G subbed, so if we want to do this, we have to do life.killer. Because this key is not that key. I need a different name for this. This is like a node name. And this is killer node name. And this would have to be, yeah, okay, so that should solve that. Because we put it in, I was reusing a thing here. Oh, and this is lives. Lives, life dot. All right, first one should be done. Okay, that's very flat and wide now. Okay, so we actually have names, and I don't need these. I didn't know the previous run. All right, what do we got? A very, very wide graph. Okay, well that should help. So the arrow, it's like this is considered as a pointer as another character, but that makes it a little bit easier to follow the in-family, out-of-family stuff. Oof. Oh, this routing though. It's a U-turn. Jeez. It's zigging and zagging. I think I tried to find ways to make it go straight and it just didn't work out. It's basically zigzagging its way through. Are we getting... No, I think... no, there is... No, yeah, you're just a person. Okay. We have just lots of the zigzags are causing lots of stuff. Maybe I should take another look at Marcelo Doom. At what you can do with lines. But in the meantime, we've solved some problems here. And I guess I'm not really doing Ruby libraries anymore. All right. Oh, that was because I was afraid it was overwriting. No, 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 yeah, us should have definitely gone through here. We just want to update the label if we had a killer. And that's currently on. And don't see any spurious updates. A lot of arrows going all over the place. Killed by. What are we doing? We are fixing. All right, so I'm pretty sure I tried this before, but this is making it really bad. Documentation. Node edge and graph attributes. Or maybe it was going through stuff and being... constraint is bool. We already turned that off. That's a layout constraint. Used by node. Color scheme, comment. Distortion. Fill color, font name, font size, gradient angle, height, href ID, image pause, image scale, label, label lock. Did you put edges in a different layer? Margin, no justify ordering. Peripheries? Root, sample points. No, I want edge, not node. Ugh. Arrowhead, arrow size, arrow tail, color scheme, comment. Dir. Diff ID label. Label stuff. Well, actually layer does still apply to edge. LP. Minlen. Well, maybe no justify. Pause. Same head, same tail. Show boxes. Style's gonna be color, I think. I wish it said what the heck that meant. Multi-line labels. How do we make it a direct line? Well, don't seem to care about the Graphiz part of this. to use a shorter edge path. Connect subgraphs. Oh. Looks better horizontally and nasty edges in place. Oh, another Graphiz display site. But they seem to have forgotten this particular one. Oh boy. Anything that seems to exemplify oh, you don't zoom. Wonderful. That's a stock example. Those are pretty easy paths. Object-oriented graphs. Those are mostly pretty easy paths. It's pretty much the same. Oof. Trying to be fancy and move the objects around. I'm not doing this with D3. Maybe gallery better for this. Oh no, this is gallery. Okay, well. Direct path. Shortest path between two nodes. That's probably graph theory stuff. Change edge direction. The one we looked at before. Changing edge direction. Direction of an arrow. So constraint affects the layout. Can we go to Graphiz? So we saw a bunch of these in the other site. This might be different layout algorithms too. Now that's SFDP. Yeah, it's very large. That's very, very large. Oh, maybe that's supposed to be a preview. I thought I had a way to do it before. Arrow shapes. Layout manual pages. Well, this is breaking down by attribute better. Graph attributes. It be a graph-wide thing? Node attributes, edge attributes, cost of the edge, non-negative integers, values greater than 1 tend to shorten the edge. Weight 0 flat edges are ignored for ordering nodes. Constructing the underlying spanning tree. Constraint. These are all going to be in graph, so it's greater than 1 tend to shorten the edge. Well, I'm not. These might be direct lines. Okay, well, yeah, we're still doing this U-turn thing. And I don't know why it like doesn't come up here. Just the way it's doing it. Oh wait, I need to actually rerun this because it's not generating. That's just the SVG output. Wait, did that go a lot faster? Oh, because I turned off. Yeah, you're not really gonna see those effects necessarily. I mean, there's definitely some stuff in this. And definitely some murder down here. All right, so this one should be done. I can probably even. Oh well, you don't handle resize events. So there's that U-turn again. So that didn't seem to do it. Where the heck is my editor? Where was that U-turn? Okay, so the weight doesn't seem to do diddly. Endpoint shape clipping. That's only endpoint. Draws line from edge to label. Ignored for rank assignment. Edge length. Optimal length. Well, it's already got a default. And that's minimum length, because I don't think, yeah. Can we get... Nope, Graphiz is like such a niche thing. Hierarchical graph with parallel edge. Graphiz related resources. So I was just picking out a random thing. No, I cannot find the search term for this. I might have to ask around about that later. Alright, my recent lives. I don't think I usually want this. Okay, so I ended up with no changes there. Theory and publications. Yeah, nothing's jumping out. Hmm. Alright, so the other task would be... How do I... I'm just wondering how... Okay, we got load all test. Can we just sleep for a bit and then bring up Task Manager and watch by memory? Ruby interpreter, 142 megabytes. $471 megabytes. One gigabyte. $1.5 gigabytes. 2 GB. We have now passed Firefox. Well, okay, so that was server 2. There's going to be the big one. Or big server 2. Well, there's still the old server 1, which had a long history. Oh, it's actually dropping down now. So that must have actually been the raw data? Huh. Here we're down to... Okay, now it's going back up. 1 GB. Oh, maybe it hit garbage collection. I'm just curious, like, how much would it take to just load everything at startup? I mean, I guess it'd be a pain in the butt for development. I mean, you could choose, you could have it load a subset. Okay, well over 2 GB now. 2 GB now. Three gigabytes. This is all loading the old server 1 history. Now I think there might be some tools from memory auditing. Okay, so we're done with that. So we're probably going to do garbage collection sometime. That got up to 4 GB just to load the history of server 1. And it's staying there. Oh wait, now it's dropping. Two gigabytes. Yeah, server 1 does still have more lives than... yeah, more lives than big server 2. I mean, big server 2 is probably going to catch up fast. It's got everybody. And actually server like 2 and 3-ish will probably have a bunch too. Okay, so we're down to 1.9, 1.8. Back below Firefox. Point 6. So if I wanted to run this somewhere, right now we'd need 4 gigabytes available to actually load them. I don't know what the sustained is going to be. So hanging on around 1.4 gigabytes now. Actually, well, yeah, so probably just going to have 13, 14, 15 before we get to 2 in company. Oh, down to 1 gigabyte. Yeah, it must be doing this like successive garbage collector runs because it's actually dropping right now. And here I thought I'd need that sleep to see the final number. But we've got like big server 2 and server 1, which is a big part of the history. Oh, now 500 megabytes. So it's probably all garbage. Oh, 1.5. Oh yeah, now we're hitting server 2 again, which might be comparable to server 1. Okay, there's server 2. Our memory is... not sure. It's kind of hanging out around 2.4. There's server 3. Alright, so 95. So actually, yeah, server 2 is actually like almost around half of server 1. Server 3 falls off a bit more. We're back at 1.4 gigabytes. Oh, I didn't do this for memory check. Because we're able to completely unallocate these. This is originally just a load test. No wonder it could garbage collect everything. I guess we just do... a hash table by dir? Uh-oh, it's still working. Or still freeing memory. Alright, well I might have to leave that in the background a bit. So I do, in general, need to think about... we're probably going to need a database. So I've got most of the stuff done. Well, I still have to work on incremental updates a bit. I suspect that's going to need some... well, I mean, to a certain extent, each file loading up is sort of an incremental update, but getting epochs for names could be an issue. So right now, our loading happens in here. Loader. Okay, so we're done with big server 2. We're at 2.3 gigabytes. Yeah, we've got the load limiting thing for my typical, like, just weekly updates. We're at 3 gigabytes. And we're just loading all the files. So after we do that, we're going to have lives, which, oh, that's what we need to do. We need to convert lives from strictly referring to birth and death records to directly storing values so that we can load and eventually load and save data. So that makes it, do I want to do that in the same record? Well, it would just have it init from the birth and death. Mm. So lifelog. We're at 5.8 gigabytes. We're not even on server 1 yet. Yeah, so it's looking like just loading everything into memory isn't gonna work so well. Okay, 6.1 gigabytes and server 1. %73 overall. So lifelog, create, birth, death. Birth and death are probably going to be fine, but we would convert you. Do I ever directly reference these? Export is directly referencing some things. Time and coordinates. So we need to make sure we have hooks for that. So that would be like birth time and death time, I guess. So right now, that would be birth and... death dot time. Did I do anything with chords? No. Now, how am I doing that? Export. Okay, chords are getting parsed as XY pair here. And that was birth. Now lifelog export can just go to this is the I know this is the only thing I do with chords. Uh, 8.6 gigabytes, 89% memory, 90% memory. We still got a couple servers to go. So we're gonna have to test that. So that gives us an interface. So then we just shouldn't have these. We should. Essentially, it should be a bunch of attributes. Okay, there's going to be a couple things like this that are going to be maybe problematic. Def, some of the default value stuff. Okay, name, player ID, name is a completely separate thing. It's probably never going to happen at 0. Or maybe I could just split. I mean, I don't think this is going to happen, but player ID, we're probably going to have to say all right, 95%. What we've learned is that this is impractical. I just wanted to know how big it got. So player ID. Name is not directly involved. Time. Oh, this has a definite preference for birth time, though. And I guess we don't address that just yet. We've got birth, time. Is birth that time? What that chords is birth dot chords. Another, it shouldn't matter if we assign either of them. Parent is a thing that should, well, these maybe should all have default values. Parent is birth dot parent. Chain. Once again, should have a default value. Age is a death thing. Lifetime needs both. Well, that's birth time and death time, which have to be useful values. It's a death thing, it's a death thing. All right. It could be time. It could be player ID. Death chords. Oh, we actually have to update these. Yep. What did I do? Nope. Death chords hash. Should really just be able to use either of those for this, or really player ID. Parent chain. Gender is available. Oop. Age is a death one. Lifetime is kind of derived. And killer. We're using the code in there to get a derived value. Alright, so that would turn us into... A lot of these could just be readers. That depends on the code a little bit. As long as we have default value, that's fine. Time could have default value. Wait, we lost death time. Birth time, death time. Hash parent chain gender. And then death also has age, cause, killer. Alright, player ID has a default value. Name will have a value. It's a default kind of okay. Time has a default value. Oop. Birth time, I think we've got. Death time, we've got. Birth chords, address chords. Hash shouldn't really matter. So one place that makes a difference is if we get the, well, we should get the birth record first. That should still be a preference. Parent, we should have set up. Chain should be 0. Gender should get assigned from one of them, and there's no default there. Age. Lifetime needs both parts. So that's really is a derived value. Although it might be nice to be able to do queries on it. Alright, what did I... Okay, just confused. And killer is a straight up value. So we've got some abstraction around name. So in theory, everything should still work. We do want to test our export. Lives export. Don't remember what I did this set for. Oh, det. It must have been printing out some numbers in that. Is that coming from you? Lives.length for each server. Okay, yeah, from what we scanned. Within the 1 day period, which actually may have been cutting off quite a bit. And our other one would be run that one. Okay, it looks like we cut out all of the tracking, so it's going to be a much smaller graph. Did that change the family size? Okay, that did not output. Maybe I like broke parent links or something? It found the lives. Did not get down here. Oh, no, that should be enough. We changed life.time though. Oh, oh, time at. Yeah, time isn't working. Life log, life. Yeah, the or equal doesn't count 0. In the normal order of things, we will hit the birth record first. So we could say birth or 0, death or 0. If you had, you really shouldn't have anything that has no records associated with it. No, because then U would be or equals, and then this would not have a default value. Oh, you know what? I can implement time directly. Because that is def time. If birth time, then birth. Okay, time. And error. Define method of death. So you were doing that directly. Output. I feel like these. Well, I didn't look at this one very well. I might have liked my old layout better. Because I did sort of change layout engines. All right. You know, when I searched for birth, I did not search for death. And it must be getting into the life logs. Can I? All right, history, assigning it. Okay, so that's... Now, can we do... No such file or directory. I'd swear these used to look better. Maybe I want to... Because it might be that it's like anchoring these by the first hash it sees, or the key it sees. So that the graph would actually want to sort by timestamp, maybe? Oh yeah, and then you, which you can just check out. Store lifelog fields directly instead of keeping birth and death records. So that will set us up to possibly put that into a database. But I am feeling bothered by this. However, I'm going to have to dig into that lives.lives.values.sort. It's lives. By time. Didn't break anything. Also did not change the layout in the least. I guess it just... I guess it's just that family... All their earlier children tended to do better. So I'd swear I used to have better layout on these. Maybe I'm just thinking of different families. I don't look at these a lot. That was Lemister. Okay, yeah, that one's still reasonable. Might be a bit more spread out, but... So that seemed to do basically nothing. We can look back real quick. See if any of the others feel different. So that's pretty much the same. Yeah, that's... I may have rearranged a little bit, but... Probably not worth worrying about. Now, I did kind of get the idea to do a different sort of visualization that did each character as a line. I'd probably have to do my own layout, though. Well, you might be able to do shape and position constraints. Now I'm getting ideas. Okay, we are clean. I do actually need the documentation. So we need a node attribute. No, I still have... No, I don't have the documentation page up. There's probably a width, which you're going to have to sort out with some other stuff. Yeah, there's a width. There's some X. Where can I set a position? Center. We could go ahead and do this. So I don't know what the units are. Width equals life.age. I might have to stringify that. Yeah, that just stretches everything out by itself. And you might want to do boxes in that case rather than trying to do the gender stuff. But that does give you a better impression of how long people lived. And I think cutting off the small ones is kind of not getting that from becoming a problem. So this is going to make for a very, very long display. Now, can I constrain my X position? Or is it ordering? Position. Center of the node. Center of the node. But this requires both. I could manually do generation. Graphiz set X chord only. X and Y. Dot is a different layout engine. Does my Graphiz stuff do this? I was just getting a Graphiz file before and then calling out. Which one is it? That would be dot. Programs. So how do we specify the program? That would be output? Or maybe... Type digraph, type digraph. Dependency graph. No, it doesn't tell us we can do that. Thanks. It's kind of messy code, but it works. How you doing, Shadowrus? So how would we do a different layout engine? Ruby Graphiz layout engine. Fixed position. Maybe this is an example. Oh, maybe there's multiple outputs to, or input parameters to, is it Graphiz? Oh, this is files. We want class Graphiz output. Output format use, which unfortunately has to go into every program. Oh no, actually HTML. We can sort of do it here. And program path, Graphiz constant programs. Oh, it's just an array telling you what the values are. Now, I don't know. Do we have... Okay, we didn't use you. This is technically that one. There's a fork of it. Didn't use that one. Didn't use that one. What is it? Graphiz. Nothing actually showing up history. Okay. Graphiz.org. Okay, that's what it is. There's not. Doesn't really say what layout engine things are using. So we've got dot. We've got Nito. Now I might, well, position constraints will sort of take care of this, but it's not going to be as good for a family tree without the constraints. All right. Yeah, and that needs some serious constraints. So probably these aren't going to be very different until we get some other stuff going. So graph. So we have to do pause. And what's the syntax for point? How about that gallery? It's like this, well, this might be, that might be natural. Do any of these look manually placed? I mean, these sort of look manually placed. New. What is the syntax for that? Oh. String with commas. So life dot. I don't know if it'll autofocus. That should turn it into a string. I'm not sure what the bang is for. Okay, it totally ignored me. I think. Let's take the width out of there because it's kind of distracting. Maybe it ignored it because it was too big. Oh man, that is we need to specify some minimum separation here. We can also try different engines. So our engines are Nito, 2pi, The problem is I need to do something with spacing before it even makes sense. I can even really read it. Oh, not yet. Oh, you think a little bit longer. A lot bit longer. Meanwhile, X and Y, positioning labels, X-axis. Oh. Yeah, because you could put things in boxes to appear further than the right one. Not answered. And that was my search. Man, that takes a lot longer. Examples. Not looking good. Oh, these are very simple examples. I'm not sure what... Oh, maybe it says it's A is connected to all of these. There's rank equals same. That could solve the generation issue. It doesn't let me position on time, so I might have to do my own visualization. All right, so FDP, holy cow. I don't think I want to wait around for this thing. Doesn't seem to like this very much. Another SDP, SFDP. Oh, that one actually completes. Yeah, we need to do something with spacing. But all of these are ignoring my pause attributes. Edge node. Oh, there we go, point. Should not change. So we might have some scaling. Oh, actually, putting the pause in there could be why we're having some scaling troubles. Okay, I didn't like that at all. Oh, now it could be that time is off the side of the map. Let's try subbing something else in there. We also got the y coordinate that could be an issue. Okay, so this is by age, and yeah, 72 seems to be a bit too much. Can I actually even just do that? That's a little bit too tight. But time is going to be a unit, and that unit is going to have to be adjusted. So I need to know we're going to have the start time. Lives dot each do life. Is there even a first in that case? That's our default value. Guess we just do no. Because I went less than. I could do lives.values.map birth time really is what we want. Dot min. I think Ruby gives us that. Start time. So we want, and now the scale is probably still off. But at least we should have a 0. You know, maybe. Now, unfortunately, this is processed. But I did say not to change it. Uh... 1,000. There should be a pause equals 0 in here. Because somebody had that opening birth time. You know, we think. My recent lives. Okay, so these are pretty large units. We should still have a 0, though. Yeah, 0, 1. So you'd think those would be on the screen somewhere. So that's in seconds. I think. Why are we going up? Maybe we need to go negative to other kind of tree. Yeah. So we actually want to do times -3. And we might be able to handle this. I guess I also need the last time so I can get a scaling factor. Perhaps. Okay. Oh, now you see, now what I want is the... How was your child born before you? Well, no, these are different units. Although if this is seconds... Right, this is the center position also. So we need to do... plus for birth time. Yeah, it's the center. I don't need to print this anymore. And, oh, because we constrained the chain position. This is why I wanted that part to be auto layout. We could do time again. Yeah, I'll need a custom visualization for this. I think you might be able to do some custom anchor stuff. Well, this is really turning into something that's not taking advantage of the layout algorithms at all. I could just draw some shapes. So I really want to see is all the individual kids. Instead of life.chain, put on a strict diagonal. Just put everybody in a strict diagonal. Hey, Sergeant Kenai, how's it going? I am finding this to be an insufficient drawing method right now. I think I might want to do a custom visualization for this, but just an idea. Right, Y needs to be negative. I think. Well, we got that going over. No. You need to rerun. Or do I still have this backwards? Oh, I might have this backwards. Arrow? There's Eve. How did we get family members? Well, yeah, it makes all our lines useless. How did we get family members before the Eve? Oh, no, because we're on the diagonal. We moved her center, so actually she's here. They're up a little bit, but yeah, so there's no, it's strictly time. Because it's calculating the center. So maybe, I want to do that adjustment here. That was to center it. Okay, well that looks ugly as heck. So yeah, I kind of need to do my own layout. But you can at least see who is... I was playing around with some other lifelog visualizations. This, I was just trying to see if I could hack up something with the existing stuff. As you can see, it doesn't work very well. But you can see who is living at the same time as other people, at least. Well, not well, but... And possibly some twins. Some more twins. So, yeah, twins are the thing I have to sort out. Really, I don't want to use birth time for that, but I do kind of want to have these have an indication of length of life and relative time of birth. So yeah, it's a very constant flow of players. Yeah, and I'm still using the shapes here, so it's a little weird, but you can definitely see all the little instant suicide babies being very, very short. Oh, actually, I guess these could be births to different parents, the way I'm doing this right now. So I need to do my own layout to make this work. I just thought, hey, maybe I could, and the out-of-family people aren't being shown properly. Maybe I could hack this up, but I think I would have wanted at least to have the y coordinates auto at that point. But yeah, this is trying to put it like an actual like timeline, so to speak. So you might actually have to kind of zigzag your, births down, births up to keep it in a timeline format. Using this to spread out just kind of puts everything in a diagonal. Oh, and so we had yep, it was a boy who survived past the end of the girls. But yeah, I think that's probably gonna be a failed experiment for now. I might want to come back and do that myself sometime. Actually, reset hard will work. So that's what it looked like normally. Just straight up family tree. I thought I could maybe get this to do some stuff for me, but not. It's gonna be a custom little program sometime. Okay, so that was just a little offshoot. I do need to get back to the database stuff so I can try to get something that could produce this for other people. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'm doing programming right now, so that makes sense. Yeah, it is a game where players are born to other players, always. Well, no, there's the Eves that are then birth other players. And the developer has made some very, very basic life logs available. You get like, well, actually, that's in our load all. Kinda the life. Kinda, we get birth time, birth and death time, an ID that might be duplicate if there's a reset. Coordinates, a hash of the player's email, parents, a very, very crude death cause, gender, age, all that good stuff. Oh. I was looking at my chatty, and apparently my alerts totally missed the raid. Thank you very much. Yep. Oh. And there is occasionally a lot of murder, which is one of the things you'll see in the graph sometimes. At least I haven't noticed myself getting killed by my mother as much as I did in the early days. This one, I think, was somebody who played a good ordinary life. They like, we've had a good life. Now we'll do a little bit of killing. So that's that. But yeah, early on it happened like 3 times. Just my mom just births me, keeps me, and then kills me. I never understood that. I guess I just wanted to play with knives. I don't know. But I had that little experiment. I made one step towards the database thing. But mostly I kind of playing with some graph stuff. And I did fix a bunch of bugs. So actually here, Laugh might appreciate this. Let's see. I want to take this up because I saw somebody posting about all of the interfamily murder with all the new Eve Spiral Saturday. So I had to fix a whole bunch of bugs in some of my tracing and tracking, but I did get something that comes up here. So I think this is the one that comes up first. Yep, and let's read that. Yep, so this is the several families that were involved in that mess. Unfortunately, I could not find a way to straighten out this. I don't even know what this is. Yeah, I've got all these U-turns, and I don't really know why it's doing that. But you can see all the people, and you could go trace this back if you wanted to. So we've got, it was the Lannister family. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw you on my list. I end up doing a lot of just scouting around for people who I think are doing pretty good. So unfortunately, I can't keep up with all of them. But I still look at it as a recommendation. Yeah, Eve Sachs. It was more Sachs. Eve Lee. Yeah, there were a whole bunch of people who were cross-murdering each other. Had another Laser. Marky. Unnamed family. Coco. I didn't even see most of these families. I was in like 3 of them. Amber. Yeah, I was in the Amber family. I think that was when I was in twice. Barbie. Yoretta. Doom, I heard about but never saw anybody. Elon, nameless. And all intermurdering. So, yeah. That is a look at the chaos. But yeah, that was my project today, getting that to actually work. But I think now is time for me to be going. So, thanks for watching. There we go. Thanks to Sergeant Kenai for bringing some friends. This one caught it. I don't know why the alerts didn't catch it. And do I have anything to recommend myself? That looks like some game programming. Let's see, nobody I know playing on One Life right now. Game. Okay, well, that should work then. So that's one of the people I looked at. Sorry, Kina, thanks for the follow. One of the people I have looked at doing some development in the past, and it's doing pretty good. He did, well, at least sometimes plays music, which I don't know, sometimes it can be good. Mostly I just find it distracting. But otherwise, if you're looking for someplace cool to hang out, and I almost forgot, that is about when I tend to stream. I'm working Tuesdays and Thursdays out. But if you're looking for someplace cool to hang out, Nolik is someplace cool to hang out. Thanks for hanging out with me. Goodbye and until next time.
You mentioned